Félix Guattari on Anti-Oedipus. Interviewer. In 1972, you wrote Anti-Oedipus with the philosopher Gilles Deleuze. Was it a break with Freudian orthodoxy? Félix Guattari. Yes, of course, but anyway, there are many others who have made this break while claiming to claim orthodoxy. There was in particular Lacan and the Lacanians who made a break with Freudianism, but who do not want to recognize it. It is their business. But for us, it was perhaps even more of a break with structuralism in psychoanalysis. That is to say, precisely, we were talking about it at the beginning, the fact of reducing the production of the unconscious to facts of language, and to reduce the analysis to work relating to language, and besides to a work ultimately very poor, since very often, unfortunately, structuralist psychoanalysts just listen without intervening, making a whole theory that this is how it should be, just listening and silence. I don't believe it at all. But finally, that we are not going to go into all this aspect of things. So, break, because basically we were saying, yes, it was indeed very important, this unconscious subjectivity, outside the norm, outside the ordinary frameworks. But then, it's not just something that we're going to grasp in the psychoanalyst's office, especially with the turn that things have taken, but it's something that arises just as well anywhere in a classroom. For example, there is a whole current of thought around Fernand Uri in the wake of Célestin Freinet, who says one can do a kind of psychoanalysis at school in certain types of school. The problem of analysis also arises in institutions such as care establishments for the mentally ill. It also arises in cultural life, in the theatre, in the cinema. It arises everywhere. Even that will arise more and more as subjectivity is crushed, if you will allow me the expression, by the mass media system, by advertising, and by these enormous collective facilities which produce the subject as they produce cars or shoes. Hey, well, the problem of rediscovering, not mastery, but the sense of the singularity of one's relationship to life, of one's relationship to existence, so that's a problem that will arise more and more. More and more people will finally have less assurance in their work, in their social life, and will have more and more need to build themselves, to make themselves. And that is the analytical problem, not excellence. So our attack on Freud and on Lacan is ultimately in the name of psychoanalytic discovery. It is so that the analysis continues and does not get bogged down in this dogmatic quarrel, in these chapels which finally present us with a practice of analysis that is increasingly poor, increasingly sterile. Interviewer. That is to say, that it was necessary to leave the cabinet a little? Guattari. Yes, of course. And even staying in the office, getting out of the office, that is to say, at least opening the windows of the office and being prepared to hear all sorts of things, all sorts of other problems than the strictly identification problems at the father, to the mother, the intrafamily problems, or all this kitchen which one calls the matems of the unconscious, such as the structuralists developed it.